When Trump sets his sights on Liz Warren, he does not hold back. In the aftermath of the 2007 to 2008 financial meltdown that saw 405,000 homes lost to foreclosure and the introduction of the phrase, "too big to fail," into the country's vocabulary, newly elected President Barack Obama used his Democrat majority in Congress to pass the Dodd-Frank Act, named after the two chief sponsors of the far-reaching banking reform that would become the president's chief financial reform legislation. The far-reaching act addressed the lending practices put in place by the Clinton administration that required banks to give mortgages to certain consumers who did not qualify for a home loan, the so-called subprime lender rule. But Dodd-Frank went much farther, regulating how banks invest their own money, which had a particularly harsh impact on small banks with under $10 billion in assets, and imposing burdensome requirements with the creation of at least hundreds of rules. Although it didn't receive as much attention as his promises to repeal and replace Obamacare, drain the swamp or build the wall, candidate Donald Trump's promise to overhaul Dodd-Frank did draw support from banks that are anxious that now President Trump keep that promise. As a first step, Trump asked Treasury Secretary David Mnuchin to review the banking and financial regulations imposed by Dodd-Frank with particular attention to the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, CFPB. With the report, expected to be 150 pages of recommendations according to the Wall Street Journal, set to be released within the week, the CFPB looks to be relieved of its mission to review financial institutions. The move will be a blow to Democrat Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, who was a champion of the Bureau, seeing it as a necessity to protect the consumer, but the broad power of the Bureau has been a concern of the financial sector for several years. The review by the Treasury Department has been conducted independently from the sweeping repeal of Dodd-Frank that the Republican Congress is working on this session. The Financial Choice Act, creating hope and opportunity for investors, consumers and entrepreneurs, would repeal the 2010 Dodd-Frank Act. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, R. said, "This is a jobs bill for Main Street. It will rein in the overreach of Dodd-Frank that has allowed the big banks to get bigger while small businesses have been unable to get the loans they need to succeed." With the Financial Choice Act, the era of taxpayer-funded bailouts and too big to fail is over. With the prediction that Sec. Mnuchin's review will recommend that Senator Elizabeth Warren's brainchild, the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, be dismantled, the Democrat who stirred President Trump's disdain, prompting him to call her Pocahontas in a reference to her claims to be of Native American heritage, will be feeling the sting of Trump's ire once again.